Hello, I am Oinlola Sale and you're welcome to A Woman's World. Some time ago, we took a look into the world's oldest profession, prostitution. Well, today we go to Madagascar, where some of Africa's most beautiful beaches are, to see the people's changing views on prostitution. On Life on Top, we meet a lady who was instrumental in turning event planning in Nigeria into a booming business. We will also bring you up to date with the latest headlines in the world of women. On Trends, it's all about planning that perfect day. Over to our issue for the day, prostitution in Madagascar.
Water cascades and waves lapping on the shores. Lush green trees. Sunny beaches. These are just a few of the images that characterize Madagascar, an island located on the Indian Ocean off the south coast of Africa. Nosy Bay, or Large Island in Malagasy, is off Madagascar's northern coast. It's 300 square kilometres with a population of around 100,000 people. Tourists frequently visit the exotic island. There are direct international and local flights. Nosy Bay can also be accessed from the mainland by ferries.
I love it here. It's very authentic and I love the kindness of the people here. I really like the coast.
But behind the island's beauty lies an ugly truth. Prostitution.
I'm not married because the girls here are only interested in foreigners. For them to marry a Malagasy man would be for survival, and they will not particularly enjoy that.
According to Madagascar's National Institute of Statistics, there are around 8,000 long-term foreign residents in Nosy Bay. Many are French and Italian. With property laws requiring foreign investors to have local partners, Malagasy women have become easy targets. Most African countries have a strong social stigma attached to prostitution. In Nosy Bay, the case is different. 21-year-old Nicoline Ambanja has been a sex worker for more than 4 years.
I am seeking an old man because I do not want to be just a sex worker and it ends there. But I need someone who loves me with respect because I'm not going to be a sex worker all my life.
Nicoline left her village for Nosy Bay at a young age after her mother became paralysed. Faced with basic needs and no one to take care of her, she turned to prostitution. Her case is not unique. Migrating sex workers from all across Madagascar come to Nosy Bay.
What I want is to go out with a foreigner. And if he sends money, maybe I will open up a restaurant. But I will only go to his country for holidays. I don't want to leave my country.
In rural areas where almost 80% of the people live, literacy levels are low, poverty levels high. As a result, many women turn to prostitution. Fabienne Villonanosi is no stranger to this practice. She left her village for Nosy Bay and was a sex worker for 2 years. That was when she met an Italian who later became her husband. Today, Fabienne's house is a place of refuge for many. She now dedicates her life to mentoring young women.
I would say it is better to continue with one's studies and find a scholarship to study outside because prostitution is not right. But if you really have nothing, what do? I do not judge anyone for his job and means of livelihood, but everyone has to notice that life is changing. This is my message to all the girls.
The government has put laws in place that protect minors from sexual exploitation. Posters discouraging prostitution are all over the island. Some hotel owners require their guests to present ID before booking a room. Hotels are also taking the initiative by offering young people training in the hospitality industry.
Yes, Nosy Bay is known for prostitution. And that's also why we built this center, for change. To learn to work and prepare for the future and not become sex workers.
Even if it seems the odds are against them.
The youth want to continue their studies, but even if their parents want to help, without financial means, there is no possibility of sending children to school, and you're done pushing girls into prostitution.
While opportunities are emerging for sex workers to change their trade, much more needs to be done. It's people like Fabienne who'll help to make this island truly beautiful for both tourists and residents.
Coming up, we meet an event planner who has built for herself an empire. And on Trends, we discuss ways to make your wedding less stressful. But first, let's see what events made the headlines this week. All roads lead to Uyo, southern Nigeria, as African women from all walks of life gather for the 5th edition of the African Women in Leadership Conference. The 3-day conference with the theme African Women of Worth focuses on harnessing the leadership qualities of women with dynamic and inspirational presentations by seasoned speakers.
And you know what I found about these days? Because there's such a vacuum of leadership everywhere. This 21st century, it is agreed that what we lack the most are true leaders. We have celebrities, but there's a difference between a celebrity and a leader.
Some of the women speak on how empowering the program has been and what they will be taking away from it.
I do believe what I'll leave here with is to be more proactive in the issues concerning women in different stratas of society.
We should keep on striving. We are trying, but we should try more. We should mentor our people, mentor our fellow women. Let us help them, educate them, liberate them, keep them in good positions.
Burundi's Lydia Nsekara has become the first woman to be elected to the FIFA Executive Committee for a full term. Nsekara was voted to serve the 4-year term at the FIFA Congress in Mauritius, while 2 other women, Moya Dode of Australia and Sonia Biename of the Turks and Caicos Islands, were co-opted on for 1 year. Nsekara had also been the first woman to be co-opted on for 1 year at last year's Congress in Budapest. Although the moves are seen as another step towards gender equality within football's world governing body, there will still work to be done as the committee comprises a total of 24 members. "20 years after 2 women and 3 children of Turkish origin were killed in an arson attack in the western German city of Solingen, survivors and German officials remember the dead. Mevlut Cenk and her husband Dermus lost 2 daughters, 2 grandchildren and a niece in the fire.
We're humans. We're Muslims. We continue to live here together. It's our duty to ignore other people's hate and to live in friendship, respect and tolerance because we're all humans."
The fire was started by 4 young right-wing extremists who were caught and imprisoned soon after the crime. Turkish Deputy Prime Minister Bekir Bozdağ told an assembly of mourners and representatives from the city's Turkish community that to live in peace, they needed to decisively fight racism, hostility against Islam, and xenophobia. The German government was represented by Berlin's envoy for migration, refugees and integration, Maria Boehmer.
Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard has accused her opponents of being sexist,
referring to an offensive dinner menu that appeared at a fundraising event for the opposition. The menu featured a Julia Gillard Kentucky fried quail, small breasts, huge thighs, among other comments. In a speech to women supporters, she said women could be banished from politics.
Putting on today. Thank you. On that day, the 14th of September, we are going to make a big decision as a nation. It's a decision about whether, once again, we will banish women's voices from the core of our nation's political life. I invite you to imagine it. A Prime Minister, a man with a blue tie, who goes on holidays to be replaced by a man in a blue tie. A Treasurer who delivers a budget wearing a blue tie, to be supported by a Finance Minister, another man in a blue tie. Women once again banished from the centre of Australia's political life.
Polls have consistently shown Gillard remains much more popular with women voters compared to Abbott. Since she became Prime Minister, Gillard has been regularly subjected to sexist abuse, particularly from talk radio hosts who have complained that women are destroying the country. Abbott has apologized after a former Conservative minister and now opposition election candidate, Mal Brough, held a fundraising event which included offensive jokes against Gillard on the menu.
I condemn it, as Mal Brough has. I think that we should all be bigger and better than that.
Abbott's finance spokesman, Joe Hockey, who was at the fundraising dinner, said he did not remember the menu. He accused Gillard of insulting him in Parliament.
We should treat each other with respect. But please, no sanctimonious lectures from Julia Gillard, who described me as a fat man in Parliament.
Hundreds of brides were reportedly put through virginity and pregnancy tests ahead of a mass marriage ceremony in central India. The ceremony was hosted by the provincial government in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh and took place in Harad village in Betul district. The brides were asked to go through the test prior to taking their vows to confirm their eligibility to get married. However, when some prospective brides were found pregnant, their registration was cancelled and they were asked to return the items presented to them as wedding gifts.
जिसकी शादी नहीं हुई हो या प्रेग्नेंट नहीं हो, मतलब इसी तरह का चेक किया है या जिसकी
We have checked on those women for pregnancy. We found 10 of them have not qualified. Yes, their registration was cancelled and we took away the items given to them earlier. When the officers from the health department conducted certain checks on them, it came to our knowledge that several of them were pregnant too.
जी उनकी रिपोर्ट्स में अब ये जैसे सिस्टर स्वास्थ्य विभाग वालों ने चेक किया तो पता चला कि कुछ लेडीज से प्रेग्नेंट भी थी.
A village official, however, denied the allegations and said that no such tests were conducted.
There has been no medical examination on those aspects, that is virginity and pregnancy. We had a medical team only for emergency situations since it was a huge gathering.
The head of the district administration also reiterated that there were no orders from the government to conduct the tests.
There are no orders like this, and we haven't given any order like that to ascertain such virginity and pregnancy factors.
Every bride was to be provided assistance in the form of household items.